Is my 19-year-old lawnmower toast? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Ken Johnson. So today we're going to be trying to work on my lawnmower. If you're not used to the channel, you haven't watched the channel, I've got a lawnmower. It's probably about 19 years of age, something along that line. I've done some videos where I've done upkeep on it, fixed some minor issues, fixed some major issues as well. And so the other day, the wife, she sent me a picture and the cord just wrapped around the lawnmower. So she pulled the cord. Evidently a spring had broken. So I went, got some stuff, and we're going to investigate it and try to get it fixed. Stay tuned. Yeah, it never fails. Anytime that ready to do something other, something's always going to break. In this case, I've been dealing with shoulder injuries, and the wife said, "Oh, I'm gonna mow the yard for you, so you ain't gotta do that and hurt your shoulder pulling that pull cord." As you can see, this is the pull cord. That ain't supposed to be that way, in case you didn't know. So what we're going to do is repair this, try to get this fixed, and I'll show you how I attempt to fix the pull cord on this Sears Craftsman Briggs and Stratton 6.75 horsepower lawnmower. Okay guys, first thing gotta do is there's two screws up here we need to unscrew. Alright, got that. Like that. Very simple. Then right here up from the gas cap, there is a 5/16 inch screw right here. Now, if you don't have 5/16 inch, you can use 8mm. And that comes off. Very simple. I'm going to take this cowling off here. Alright, so in some Briggs and Strattons you have some 8mm that you pull off around the sides, and then you got 10mm and all that. In this one, from what I understand, what I need to do is just remove those, and then that peels that back. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, again, using the 5/16. Right out. Came out. This should peel back, and it does. Awesome. Before we go much further with this, I'm going to go ahead and take this off. This is just the cap going to the spark plug, disengages it. That way I don't have to worry about it accidentally turning on for some apparent reason. So what we're going to do now is take these screws off. Took a 3/8 inch, so we was able to get it. Took a 3/8 inch though to get it out. Okay. This comes just right off to the side real easily like we're supposed to. Ooh, crap. That's not supposed to work like that. There we go. Now this should come off. Get this right here. Alrighty. So this is obviously very old, very used. Not saying this is brand new by any stretch of the imagination. This is the underside. There's a little screw there that you can take off. That's where the line feeds in right there to it. Pretty simple so far. So now I'm going to cut this handle off right here so I can get it out of here and get this part onto the table to operate. I'll go ahead and just unscrew this, see what it looks like in there. There's the little paws that go in here. They just pull right out like that. I was trying to show you what the spring looked like, and that's what we got. So I went ahead and bought me a brand new recoil starter assembly. This is for Briggs and Stratton, so should be the same make and model that I need. This made by Sofo. They are not sponsored, but if a lawnmower company wants to sponsor me, I would love to get me a riding lawnmower. Okay, so I'm trying to get this took care of. Problem is that the this is riveted in. Now a lot of people take a drill and they just drill in, and you can do that, but you can also do a lot of damage. I'm going to try to go a little bit more gentle. I've got this right here, this little set thing, but it's one of those that's automatic, it pops. I've tried it, it does okay, but not as good as I want. So I'm going to take this and a hammer and just put in here, right here, and then just hit it with a hammer lightly and see if that helps. Then sometimes that idea sucks, and so I'm going to use a drill bit and just drill it out. I don't highly recommend that normally, but in this case, the this part right here is not going, the hole is going to be smaller than my actual replacement screw, so it'll be alright. So I went very carefully front and back, and you can see the hole right there that I did drill it out all the way through. So I'm going to keep going around, and these are little pieces of shavings. So I'm going to go all the way around. I put a little bit of oil on here. I didn't have cutting oil, so I just used some blaster. I figured that'd work just as good as anything else. And I'm just going to slowly drill, and I was using a drill bit roughly about the same size as the actual pop rivet. That way I could get without making too big of a hole. If you want to know what size drill bit I'm using, well, that's been varying because I've been breaking my drill bit, so I'm going what I got. Several hours later, and under the heading of anything and everything can go wrong, these things right here, they're spinning on me. So I've got a 3/4 inch bimetal blade, and so I'm going to just cut these off with the blade, I hope. We'll find out. Alright, that saw blade did help a little bit. Whenever you're using something like saws, grinders, whatever, do wear some glasses, protect your eyes. but now it's still not wanting to come out, so I gotta get that worked out somehow, some way. Alright, drilling them has worked. I only got one more left to go on this, and it just popped out, so I ain't gotta do that. So now they appear to all be about the same size hole, which is awesome. So then I can just screw in the part. Always remember where parts go and position that they go in, because that's going to be important later. Which luckily I was doing video of this, so when I screwed up and didn't do that, I actually had a backup. So what I'm going to do is, I've got it positioned where it should be. I'm going to go ahead and put in the screws and the nuts. The joys of my life. So the screws that came with this are too big for these holes. So what I gotta do is I've got to make this just a little bit bigger. They ended up being a 15/64 bit that I had to use to get that doing what it's supposed to do. On the back side here, what I did is I got these washers and nuts. I'm just putting them on there just to make sure I got a good connection. Alrighty, time to reassemble everything. The metal part is on like it ought to be. It has went through all the different areas that it's supposed to be in. Now time to put in the screws. I cannot overemphasize how important it is to make sure you know where all the screws go and what size they are. So make a map, do whatever you need to do. Those next layer of screws, there, and there, they're all screwed in. Now we're putting the cowling on. Luckily this handle slips right through, so no problems there so far, because everything came pre-done. Now we screwed in this little piece. Now all I gotta do is run that into right here. I've got to loosen that nut up, and that will allow me to pull that out and put line through. Right here is a 7/16 drill bit. Alright, that's all nice and tight. We'll tighten this back up and call this good. I just changed position there, I just like it better. So let's give this a shot. It would help if I put the spark plug cap on. Do we have gas? We got gas. Alright, so after I've connected the spark plug, changed out filter, cleaned it with a little bit of carburetor cleaner, let's see how it works. Well, the operation was a success, but the patient ain't doing too well. This one of those things where you can do everything right and it all go wrong. For some reason, I've changed out the spark plug, I've changed out the air filter, put some carb cleaner in it, did everything that I know to do, and it just not wanting to stay cranked. So I'm gonna send this down the road to a loving home. Maybe somebody's got more skill than I do to fix it. I have no ego, so if somebody's got the abilities and they want it, they could have it. And we're gonna buy a brand new lawnmower.